Hi, this is Rexanna with Garden of Herbs, and I had shot a previous video on my elderberry syrup, and I got to thinking about it. I had spoke in the video about echinacea, and so I am going to shoot a quicker video on echinacea, and I had some leftover sambucas, black elderberries, and I had previously, and I'll link this video to that video so you can revert back to that video. I talked about where I went and got my elderberries, which is at Star West Botanicals, and I talked in that other video about, you know, all the wonderful properties, how it supports our immune system, and all that. So you can watch that video. I'm basically doing this video because I didn't want any confusion about echinacea. So I'm just gonna real quick show you how to do a tincture of echinacea. I'm sorry, well you can let me back up, of a tincture of elderberry, and you can put echinacea with it, because I started thinking, I travel, and when I travel, I like to have a little tincture bottle instead of carrying the syrup, because syrup has to be refrigerated. The elderberry syrup, you have to keep it in the refrigerator, and when you're on a trip or something, it's nice to have a little tincture bottle of elderberry syrup and echinacea instead of a straggler's root, which I put in my little bottles here. Once these cool off, this is elderberry syrup with a straggler's root in it. This will go in your refrigerator, and that's kind of hard to take on a road trip with you. Keep it refrigerated. So I thought I would do this quick video, and it's not a lot of measurement. I don't do precise measurements. I do a lot of folk remedies. So this is about a cup. It's actually a little bit more. There's not like a whole lot left in here. This is from my double. There's less than a half. There's just very few little bit left. So I'm just gonna add that too. I have like a 1.5 pint jar. So when you're doing a folk remedy, you're just doing parts. You do a part of this and a part of that. So I don't do exact measurements when I do my tinctures. You're just gonna do alcohol, and you just wanna make sure that you're doing, I like to do as pure, like some people do vodka, some people do rum, some people do Everclear. You just want the purest form of alcohol, and you want to make sure that it's like 80 proof, 100 proof. Some people do as much as 80 or 180. And you want to feel, it's just your preference is what I'm trying to say. You're going to feel your herbs a little over. I'm going to feel mine a couple of ounces over, because that right there is going to be enough. You're gonna have, that's gonna be like a little bit more, because this is a very strong herb, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your jar on. You can fill it up to 2 cups. You had a cup, you can actually double your alcohol on this. And then you make sure your lid is on nice and tight. These plastic lids are nice to have. The reason I have my rack here is because the reason I was trying to say that is because these plastic lids can sometimes leak. And so that's why I was trying to hurry up and say that, because when you shake the lid, that's why I sometimes put the other lids on, and then I'll put parchment paper around, because they have a tendency, these lids have a tendency to leak, and I hate these plastic lids until I'm finished. But I just grabbed this for the video real quick. And then you want to put this in your sunny window. As you can see, I already have tinctures. You want to label it, put the date and the elderberry tincture and the date you started it, and then put elderberry vodka, and then put the date that you started it and the date you want to finish it. You want to leave it up there for at least 4 weeks. Now I've already started this. This finished in July. I'm always trying to keep ahead because I look forward to people getting sick, because we might not ever get sick, but if somebody does get sick, or if I hear of somebody at my church or something like that, I always want to be able to help somebody. So when this is all done, you can do half and half. You can do half elderberry and half echinacea. Put it in your little tincture bottle and you're set. Or sometimes another way that you can do this is you can actually, in one jar, you can actually do echinacea root or echinacea leaves and flowers, all of that. You can do half elderberries and half echinacea in one jar, and then fill it up the rest of the way with the alcohol. That's one way to do it. Another way is, because I just wasn't thinking ahead of the elderberries, I did it 2 different jars. It's up to you how you want to do it. I'll have enough to refill. Now I'm only going to do this tincture for my family, but if you want to do, like, make little presents for everybody and do this for traveling purposes, is the way that I want to do it. You may not want to do the syrup at all. This is good for diabetics. This is good for people that just don't want to have sugar in their system at all. But this is just something that I wanted to do to clear the air, because I always feel like I might have made a mistake in a video. So I wanted to read to you. Now this is echinacea, the little purple coneflower. It's echinacea, and I never say this right. It's purpurea or acaphelea. I never say it. There's 3, 4, I think there's 8 different types. There's the purple kind, the blue kind, the purple kind, the yellow kind, the white kind. There's all kinds of different species of purple coneflower. Or I mean the pink. I have pink, I have yellow, I have white. The first year, you don't really want to make it into a remedy. You want to wait for it to go the 2nd and the 3rd year, and then you can cut it and divide it. The root is the strongest part. You can use the leaves, the stems, the flowers to make a remedy out of. It's a beautiful plant, and it helps really make your garden look beautiful. I love it. It goes all the way through June. It goes all the way through fall. All year long, it looks beautiful. The flowers will die off and they'll come back. You can cut them and make them into a tea. It's a tincture. It's really beautiful. It helps. The bees come all year long. Let's go. It's non-toxic. It's cooling, it's drying, and it's energetics. It's a blood purifier. It's an antiseptic. It's an antiviral. It's an immune booster. It's really good. It helps with your lymphatic system. It's really good. People mostly know it for helping to get over a cold, a cough, a flu, anything that has to do with in the chest area. For years, people have been able to get it, like through Star West Botanicals. I know you can get it through Rocky Mountain Botanicals. You can get it Frontier Herbs. There's a lot of different herb companies that I do not even, I can't even remember all of them. But you can do it 2 to 4 times a day, 3 times a day. You can use this mostly during the cold and flu season. And then the precautionaries, the reason I wanted to say is not to use it more than 2 weeks at a time and then lay off of it. It's mainly when you feel a cold or flu or achiness coming on you, and then you want to get off of it after you start feeling better. You do want to get off of it. That is the precautionary. People say that once you use it all the time, then it's not like a normal medication over the counter that you'll become immune to it, but you just want to use precaution with herbs. It does act like, people will say, well, I use it all the time. Well, that's not the way you use this herb. This herb is not like that. You just want to use it when you're feeling that you need to use it, and then back off of it, get off of it. And there are herbs that you use just for cold and flu season, and then you get off of them. And a lot of people say, well, it doesn't hurt me. Well, you're not really using, some people say herbs do me no good, maybe because they're not using them properly. And that's another reason I wanted to do this video, because some people will use an herb one day and they're supposed to be using it on an ongoing basis. And then some herbs, people say, well, I used it for 3 or 4 days and it didn't do me any good. Well, you're supposed to use certain herbs have a healing action, or not a healing action, but it does certain things for the body. And so you're supposed to use it the way it was recommended to you for that specific purpose. And then some people say, well, over-the-counter drugs work better for me. Well, maybe you're supposed to do it the way it's supposed to be recommended. And that's why I'm trying to get this across to certain people, because if you use it the way it's recommended, back in the 80s, people use this all the time without adhering to the precautions and the warnings. And then I think they abused the plant to where they had to say, don't do that all the time. So that's really why I'm doing this video too, because Echinacea is a beautiful plant, but we don't want to abuse our plants and make where they get put on the endangered list or something like that. And so let's appreciate our bodies. Let's take care of we have something that God gave us, which is the temple, and we need to take care of the temple. And that's really another reason why I made this video, because let's do what is supposed to be done, and then appreciate the plants, appreciate everything that is around us, and then once we need it, it's there for us. And then, tinctures are good. They are good medicine. They really, the potency of the herb is right there, and we can travel and we can use it. Because I think tinctures, if you're needing to go get them, sometimes if you make them at home, they're pennies. But if you need to go buy them, sometimes they're really expensive. So anyway, this is Rexanna with Garden of Herbs. I hope I cleared this up for you. I hope I made it really simple. You could do this tincture and make it for yourself at home, and it's just pennies on the dollar. If you are in a pinch and you're not feeling good and then you have to go shop for it, oh boy, that's such a drag, But anyway, I hope you have a blessed day.